wished to find anyone who cared about the dead man or showed sadness to his death. Scrooge was taken later to the house of a poor couple, Caroline and her husband, who were supposed to be put in prison as they were unable to pay Scrooge back the money they had borrowed from him, as they didn't have enough money to pay him back. They were happy and relieved, as they said that they could sleep that night. When they heard that Scrooge died, and they had hopes that they would pay the money later, though they felt guilty to be happy at the death of the old man, yet they couldn't control it, as the old man was quite mean. Scrooge then asked the spirit that he had wanted to see the happiness at the death of that old man, but he also wanted to see that there could be sadness at the death of someone dear. Later, he was taken to the Cratchit's house, where the house seemed extremely quiet because of the death of Tiny Tim. Mrs. Cratchit was very sad. She was sewing Tiny Tim a white shirt. Though Mrs. Cratchit was sad for the death of Tiny Tim, yet she didn't want to show Bob, her husband, that she was crying, or even she had tears in her eyes, as she cared for Bob's feeling. The spirit then took Scrooge to Bob Cratchit's house to show him the death of Tiny Tim and the family's reaction towards his death. The family was upset. They were all crying. Tiny Tim had a special part in their hearts. Mrs. Cratchit was very keen on her husband's feelings. She didn't want to show her sadness to her husband. They were such a loving family. All of them promised to remember Tiny Tim for being gentle and patient. They also promised to visit him every Sunday, as he left good memories. His grave was in a beautiful green place like a garden. He will be visited and remembered, as he was loved by everybody. Scrooge wanted to reassure himself that he wasn't the hateful, mean old man in the future. So he asked the spirit to pass by the office to see himself in the future at work. Will he be the same mean man, or will he be a changed man? He wanted to make sure that he still has a chance to change. But they went to a church and entered the churchyard. Here, among the untidy graves and uncut grass, lay the miserable man whose name Scrooge would soon to learn. It was a lonely place, most suitable for a man so unloved. Scrooge was strangely afraid. He didn't want to face the fact that he was the man in the grave, and he was the dead man. Scrooge was shocked when he saw his grave, but he told the spirit that he is a changed man. He has learned his lessons. He asked the spirit why did he show him this terrible end if he still has a chance to change. One shouldn't lose hope as long as he knows his mistakes and is willing to change. So he decided to change in order not to have such a terrible end in the future. Scrooge has learned his lessons. He's a totally changed man. He said that he will remember his past and think of the future. He will be good to people. He will keep Christmas in his heart and will try always to be kind, cheerful, and merry every day.